Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 9 of the Education Concierge Podcast. I am your host, Benita G, the Education Concierge. Today, we have an old friend, and he frat. We have an old friend on here, Harold Lee Jr. So, we are talking about education adjacent careers, jobs, and people who help us, educators, because we need them. They run LMS, they run innovative programs. He runs a program that I am immediately impressed the first time I saw it. Saw the table, saw the sign. I followed them on social media. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get them into my school. But we're going to talk about that later. I want to bring him on as our guest at this podcast to broaden your horizons, but also to make sure that you get him into your schools, into your classrooms, into your community centers. If your church is running a school, he's going to come. Those of you who are opening up micro schools, he's going to come. Homeschool hubs, homeschool hybrids, you need to invite him in. He brings that extra level of education we are always saying is missing, and we don't know how to do it or don't want to do it. This is what his company does. And it's a group of them. So all of them are good. All of them are exceptional. I do know that they like Mexican food. So if you feed them and pay your bill, they will come. Are we going to bring him into the family? Y'all know how we do. Hold on.
What's up? What's up?
Hello. Welcome, Mr. Lee Jr.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So are you going to edit and put like an applause or something in there when I pop up on screen?
You want to applaud?
I'm saying, like some cheers or something. Hey, just put like some applause and some cheers in the background. Yeah, write that down. Write that down.
I'm the editor, so we go figure it out.
There we go.
Okay, so welcome to the Education Concierge Podcast, Season 9.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited you're here, but I am a good old country girl from Lawrenceville, Virginia. 804-757, shout out to Southside, VA. And in the country, as you know, when you come to the house, you take your shoes off because we have dirt and you can be tracking out all over the house. Okay. And you're going to go to the guest bathroom and wash your hands because you better not wash your hands in my kitchen. And we're fixing you a plate of some good old soul food. Come on to the table. And we are fixing you a tall glass of sweet tea because our sweet tea is...
Yes, please. Sweet tea is like the devil. Like, what is the point of that? Like, why? It's just brown water. Like, that's all it is.
And if you're diabetic, we're giving you...
Yeah, there you go.
The lemon. And
lemon, there you go.
There it is. So welcome to the family. Now, after today's podcast, you are no longer a guest. Okay. And the next time you come on, you have to fix your own plate. But you still got to wash your hands in the bathroom.
Okay. Do I need to bring my own to-go stuff? Like to go,
I'm the new age. So we go to Costco. We already get the thing.
Okay.
We're ready. And we have the little dessert ones too because we bougie.
There we go. I love it.
So we leave the aluminum foil in the drawer.
Okay.
We are ready. Okay. We are ready for you. I love that. Okay. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about Kidvation Global Incorporated. And tell us why you started this.
Man, okay, I love it. So me, my name is Harold, Oklahoma born and raised, Oklahoma City, Sooners, Sooner fan, Thunder up, all that good stuff. Hey, don't make those faces. Don't make those faces. But I bring well over 20 years of experience in youth development, expanded learning programs, and community engagement. And this is all stemming from like the nonprofit and social sector. It is absolutely my passion and my purpose to work with youth. I wouldn't do anything else, even if it wasn't a paid position. I would still be working with youth in some way, shape, or form. So it's absolutely what I love to do. And so as far as Kidvation, this was just kind of a brainchild for a while. Well, I'll say at least starting a nonprofit, something that I always wanted to do since college, but always kind of made up excuses for why it wouldn't work, why it couldn't work, where's the funding going to come from, and I just kind of put that idea on the back burner. But roughly after COVID, just kind of seeing the way some things were going, and I just said, Lord, I think it's time. Like, I think it's time to just step out on faith. And so luckily I connected with my two colleagues, and we were all kind of in that same position of like wanting something bigger and better than what we were currently doing and wanting to impact students beyond Oklahoma, like continuing to impact students in Oklahoma. But we just saw like a nationwide venture, a worldwide venture. And so that's really kind of how Kidvation was born. And so we all took that leap of faith, left our current positions, started Kidvation. And so like on a macro level, Kidvation, we are a project-based learning curriculum provider for both traditional and non-traditional students, primarily between the ages of 8 to 18. And so we teach them about innovation, innovative thinking, and then how to apply it to a real-world pathway. And so those pathways are like youth entrepreneurship, so teaching students how to create their own product-based businesses, social activism, so teaching students how to like develop programs that can impact their school or their community or their state. We have a research and development pathway. That one's more conceptual, but teaching students how to like, look into STEM and AI and kind of come up with concepts that could affect the world. And then lastly, faith-based impact, because we are a faith-based organization. So we do have a separate pathway just for faith-based initiatives and trying to get, we like to say, students getting their faith off the sidelines and into the game. And so that's what we do like on a macro level. And so since roughly fall of 2022, when we came together, we've now grown the program into roughly 15 states in 6 countries. Well, technically 7 countries. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we got going on. And then on a micro level, just specific to Oklahoma, we also run year-round after-school enrichment programming and summer leadership and innovation camps for students. So they get elements of our project-based learning curriculum, but they also do STEM, arts education, aviation, like just all kind of cool stuff.
Yeah. So those of you who heard me earlier, you heard me say, I'm trying to figure out how to get them into our school. Because we are STEM-based. I am a Christian, but my school isn't. We have more values.
Right, for sure.
But it is open to all. But I did not know that you had that second or third part. So thank you for sharing that, because I did not know about that part.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is our entrepreneurship pathway. Obviously, is kind of one of the most popular pathways. Yes. So we do have those. We do have those other pathways that are available, and that are just as great as entrepreneurship.
I love that, but I know several of you out there, you know who I'm talking to. You have faith-based schools, and some of you who are opening faith-based schools, and the little kids, the little ones. He said 8-year-olds. So that is important. I love how you said, say it again, get off the sideline.
Yeah, get your faith. Yeah, get your faith off the sidelines and into the game. That's what we're trying to teach them, that pathway. It's kind of don't see that. You're right about it. But that one's kind of a blend of entrepreneurship and social activism, but just with the faith-based component. So it's more than just kind of making cookies and things like that. We're really trying to challenge students to come up with like faith-based products or initiatives that can really, show their faith into the world.
I love that. The school I was working in, one of the guides for Thanksgiving, they put together the kids. Every family had a different item to bring, and they did blessing bags. I had never
even heard of that.
And every kid, we made so many, every kid got to take 3. And a blessing bag is a big Ziploc bag, and non-perishable items to eat. So we did like some sweets, and then like sardines and different things. And then we did wipes.
Sardines, but okay. I'm still with you though.
Tuna in the pouch. Okay. Yeah. The wipes, a little toothbrush, a toothpaste, hand sanitizer, Band-Aid, like a little emergency kit. And I tell you what, I was looking at them like, I don't know about this. And I was driving during the winter months. I was driving and I was at a stoplight, and I saw a homeless person in the garbage. And I tapped the horn, and I had them under my seat. Right. And I pulled a bag out, and he came over. It was I had seen him before. Handed it to him, and then the light turned green, and I was like, okay, bye. I saw him the other day, and he was like, hey. And I was like, he was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then it kicked in like what he was talking about, and he just kept, he kept on going. But that right there, I understood the power of just that little bag. It was food. It was all packaged. It was enough for like a couple of days. If you wanted to share it.
Right.
That's the part I see when you said that, where it is, like you said, like getting the kids to process and think, how can we be good humans?
Right. Good humans. And that's what it's really all about, is just being good human beings. And like, you'd be surprised, like the ideas and the creativity that students have when you just give them the autonomy and the platform to come up with those type of things. It's amazing what they can do.
I love this. Okay. All right, we're not going to talk about that because, I will talk about this all the time. So you guys took a leap of faith. First of all, started a nonprofit.
We did.
This was before COVID or after?
This was after COVID. So we came together in the fall of 2022. So roughly we got incorporated in October of 2022. And then we started launching pilot programs at the top of 2023. And then we officially launched in schools in the fall of 2023. And so since then, like I said, we've been able to grow the program into 15 states. I think we'll add another 4 between now and August, and then 7 countries. So yeah, we've been. And it's 2025. Man, that's a good question. God, for sure, putting God at the forefront. No, honestly, I mean, a lot of it really was like leaning on existing relationships for one. So, like, principals and stuff like that, people that we already knew, getting the programs into their school and like getting success stories from there. We definitely lean on storytelling. We're definitely active on social media and things like that to try to get the word out about our program. Attending conferences with intentionality, not just being there just to be there to take up space, but actually coming to connect with people and things like that. Because to be honest, we were new to the whole, micro school movement and things like that. And so when we had the opportunity to come to like, National Hybrid School Conference and things like that, where I had the chance to meet you, that was really like our first kind of introduction really to like this whole, phenomenon, of micro schooling, hybrid schooling, homeschool co-ops. Of course, we kind of had a vague, understanding of them, but really being immersed into that whole culture is really what opened up a lot of our scalability. So a lot of the states that we're in now is because of micro schools taking on our program.
And I remember first meeting you and I said, oh yeah, what's your Instagram?
Yeah. Okay. So for all the listeners out there, we did not have an Instagram page at first. We just had Facebook and LinkedIn, and Benita demanded demanded that we get an Instagram page. And she was like, no, you ain't about to work with nobody else until you get an Instagram page. So thanks to Benita, we created an Instagram page.
Thank you. And I don't know why, because I was like, this is really crazy of me. I don't know these people.
It was just like one page that we didn't want to do.
By the time I come up this next session, you need to.
And we got it. And I started one because, like, literally because you said we needed one. I started.
And I was like, yes, thank you. And you already had LinkedIn, like you said, you already had LinkedIn, you already had Facebook. But I was like, look, a lot, just open it up. Now, TikTok X, that's that's other.
No, I'm not doing no TikTok.
And I was on TikTok and I just got up and I feel so much better. I just don't have time to deal with this. Okay, so here we go. So now, tell us, because this is why we're here, how does Kidvation Global Incorporated, how do you really disrupt, dismantle, or reimagine education?
Great question. So I think the way that we disrupt education, I guess it would be more so from a traditional sense, because, as far as like micro schools, homeschools, they're already kind of disrupting education. And so we try to disrupt education in the public school sense just by adding in more project-based learning curriculum and things like that, more innovative education, more unorthodox styles of teaching, because, right now things are just very traditional, very rote, schoolwork. And so we try to add in, our flavor to the school day or to the, to their after school program to just really show students, how to dip into those 21st century workforce and leadership skills that are going to drive this next wave of innovation. Like, we are no longer in the industrial revolution. We are in the innovation revolution. And so students need those 21st century skills that are going to drive innovation and technology, for the next century.
I love that. Okay. So, and people, this is the one thing I love about you guys' organization is that a lot of times people make you choose, like, oh, you can only work in the innovative, or you can only work in traditional. And I'm like, no, this is a great example. This is a great example of we are all in this pool. We're all in this water together. Right. And how can you come in with a great company with amazing ideas and still work with both and
Right. But you have to be willing. You definitely have to be willing. And so, I will say, don't get me wrong, I'm still a component of traditional schools, those that are actually trying to be innovative. But that's the key word, those that are trying to be, innovative, because we have approached tons of public schools with our program. And, we had to like tap dance, set ourselves on fire to even get the meeting, with them. And then by the time we had the meeting, they're just still like, oh, I don't know how it's going to fit. I don't know, and we do have more synergy with micro schools, homeschool, co-ops and things like that, just because you guys are already education innovators and you get it, and we don't really have to sell you up on our curriculum. But I will say this public schools that we do work with that do our program, they do have great results. And so it's really just about if we can get more of those traditional schools to take on this model as well, I think it'd be very beneficial for their students.
Okay, so unpack it. I constantly use myself because I can.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm really trying to get some intel. So I'm like, look, hey, Harold and the crew. I remember the other young man that went to eat with us.
Yeah, Brent.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Brent will be with me, and then there's Michael. I don't think you've ever met Michael, but me and Brent will be in Atlanta this weekend. So you'll get to hang with us again.
Yes, we got it. We got it. The whole crew. Well, the whole crew won't be there this time, but it'll be enough.
There we go.
So we have an exclusive party. We'll get you.
Yeah.
So thanks, Vila. Thanks, Vila. Thank y'all. And so I come and I say, look, I'm ready. We set up. I have about 25 students ranging from grades 6 through 12. Part of us in the afternoon, 3 days a week, we focus on project-based learning. What else do I need to do? Like, I know we need some money.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as you probably think.
Do you help me set it? Just tell me what you would do. Do you help me set it up?
Yep. So when a school signs on with us, so yeah, like you said, obviously a transaction is involved, but it is very reasonably priced, especially for micro schools and homeschools and home schools. But anyway, so we identify a facilitator. So whether that's the founder of the school or they have a teacher that they actually want to, lead this initiative. And so we then train that person. So we do a train the trainer. And so that's with us, virtually. And so really it's almost part professional development and training. Because like the first half of the training is really just us kind of just giving out our hearts, man, like our philosophy of Kidvation, how we view kids, the importance of innovation, the importance of creativity, the importance of imagination. And so we talk about that. Then we go into the actual nuts and bolts, the logistics of the curriculum. Like, here's how it's going to operate. Here's the learning management system that we use. Here's how we're going to onboard you. If you want to onboard students, here's how you do it. We actually take them through like a lesson, like, and kind of show them like, hey, here's how you should be interacting with the students. They get all the materials that they need, the actual curriculum, the access to the LMS, PDF teacher's guide, which spells out the entire curriculum. It gives them all the content that they need. Like you could literally, I mean, not to be funny, but you could literally almost give this to somebody just like straight off the street and like they would be ready to teach like a class like with this PDF guide that they have. And then I think one of the things that really differentiates us from other curriculum providers is that we're very like hands-on to the point of how much that facilitator or that school wants us to be. But we definitely offer up implementation support throughout the lifetime of the curriculum. So we typically do it in a year's license. So anytime in that year, you can do that curriculum as many times as you want with as many students as you want. But we're there to help. Like, so if you hit me up and say, hey, I kind of had a trouble on day 18, like, can you kind of just like walk me through this? We've hopped on Zoom calls with kids because you know how it is, Benita. You might be in a group and you've been destined to create bracelets and bath bombs since the day you came out the womb, but the other people in your group don't want to do that, and now y'all arguing. So we've hopped on Zoom calls with kids and just kind of talked them through their problems. Like, okay, well, hey, let's make sure we're listening to everybody's ideas. Well, what if you did this? So yeah, I think those are some of the things that makes us a little bit different. And then we try to attend, not always in person, but we try to attend like the pitch presentations and stuff at the end, whether it's like virtual or whatever, just to support the kids and everything that they're doing.
Okay, so my brain is like, because you answered one question, I was going to say how long, so a year, and then with the option
license, and then we have two different versions of our curriculum, so to speak. We have a full, which is 36 lessons, and then we have an accelerated, which is 18. It's essentially the same content, but the 18 gets to the action a little bit quicker. And so, fun fact, we actually created the 18 because of micro schools, just because they kind of operate in a different, time frame, and they do stuff kind of quicker. And so we were like, man, this 36 isn't always going to work, for a micro school when they do stuff in like 6-week time spans and stuff like that. So we created that accelerated version just for them. But we've seen public schools take on the 18, more than the 36. Yeah.
Okay. So I have purchased, we are ready, and I do what I'm dreaming of, and I open a new school somewhere else. And I say, hey, I'm partnering with like 4 other schools, and we are opening we're taking this whole old abandoned, I don't know, shopping center.
Yeah, right.
This whole K through 12 school. So like in Suite 100 is, VBK, and then, it goes all the way up. Would each one of us need to get a license, or is that something that you're like, nah, but we need to sit down? It's something about you're doing too much. Or like, how does that work? Like, so if I have one in Memphis and I have a school in Miami, in my head, I'm like, I need two separate because they are. I mean, even though we're the same entity, we have two heads.
Correct. Yes. If they're different schools, even though they're the same entity, you still would need separate licenses. But like if it's one school, so for instance, like if it's a public school, I'll just use public school for an example. And they want to do this with their 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. They just pay for one license, but you have unlimited access to, an unlimited amount of students. Each cohort shouldn't have more than, 25 or so students in there. So you shouldn't be teaching 100 kids at a time. You know what I mean? But all 100 kids can experience it just with 2-3 different facilitators or at 2 or 3 different times.
Okay, so this is my last question about that.
Yeah. Like, it's real life out here.
It's hurting. Wait.
You need some Visine. That eyelash trying to take you out. Uh-oh. You don't wear contacts, do you?
I do, but I didn't put it in today.
Okay.
On the screen. So I have one more question about that. So say I do a summer program or after school program. And I know you already do after school with public school. So is that something that could just transfer over to our micro school, homeschool hybrid?
It can, yeah. So that's the beautiful thing about the curriculum. It can be implemented in several different ways. We have schools that do it during the school day, like as an elective or an enrichment class. We have schools that do it after school, like as part of their after school program. And then we also had schools that do it like as a summer camp. So like they do like an entrepreneurship camp or something over the summer, and they use our curriculum. And so that's another beautiful thing about our curriculum too. Like it can then become like a revenue generator for that founder, because they have an entrepreneurship camp that they're making money off of, and they have an established program that they can use and get, cool results from. So we're all about, allowing founders and stuff to generate income as well, off of our product.
And as soon as you said that, I heard all the films go. What'd you say? What happened? Summer what?
Right.
So yes, because we're all getting ready to figure out how to do summer program, or if
you want to.
Sometimes I'll say, you might not want to do summer program, but maybe want to do something right before school opens, so the kids can get into a routine of coming.
For sure.
The parents can get into a routine of dropping them off. Yeah. Sometimes we need a break.
Yeah, no, true.
And we want to come to these conferences. Our professional development, take a break and breathe, but we also have to look at the finances. This is a small business.
True.
And go from there. I love that. Okay. All right, y'all. Look. So this is the controversial part. I know. Here it is.
Oh, Lord, let me say a little prayer.
Your prayer. And so I always tell people, my guests, they don't know what I'm going to ask. It literally is unscripted, unfiltered, and unapologetic. So you are in the nonprofit sector. And new administration, whether we decided to vote for them or not, they help. Our new administration is slashing, I feel like it's like the slash and burn sale of 2025. We're just slashing everything. And when I say everything, it's not discriminated against any. For sure. Right. It's unrestricted.
Right.
But we know, like in the state I used to live in, Maryland, administration went to sleep and they had such and such $1 million in the bank account for the school year, and they woke up the next morning and it was gone.
Wow.
I don't know what that word is, because I wish somebody would take somebody in my account.
Right. Mess around to find out.
Right. And we're talking about millions. And so as you move forward, as your company moves forward, how do you navigate this? Because the programs I anticipated, matter of fact, programs we had already budgeted for, really, that's what happened. Because we budget, we already budgeted this year for next year. Correct. Right. And looking at everything. We're looking at money from federal, local, state, grants we got. And we're looking at, how many kids might re-enroll. That's public, private, homeschool program. That is how we all do it. For sure. How are you navigating this new terrain in education, period?
Yeah, man, that is a good question. That is a controversial. Because so we are a nonprofit. We are a 501c3. So even though we do have like a for-profit product through our project-based learning curriculum, because we do actually sell that to schools. We still rely on grants heavily. That's really how we first got started out. We had a very substantial grant that really helped us get our runway and stuff started. And so right now, as far as Kidvation, we haven't been just directly affected by, the dismantling of like DEI initiatives and things like that. But we do know eventually it's going to touch us just like it touches everybody else. Because while we do work with any type of student, we do have an intentional focus on at-risk youth, minority youth, students in rural communities, and neurodivergent learners. So those like our four kind of like our target demographics that we truly try to get our program into. But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to navigate the waters just like everybody else, to be honest. I mean, literally tomorrow, like I'm not kidding, like literally tomorrow, 10 o'clock, my colleagues and I are meeting about like fundraising, it's time for us to really get into like, our fundraising initiatives and things like that, and really figure out how we're going to continue to matriculate, through these difficult times like everybody else is dealing with. I know even outside of that, here in Oklahoma, we kind of have a Oklahoma Black-led nonprofit group. And so we meet together to event, to encourage one another, but we are kind of talking right now about forming like more of a collective. So like joining forces to where we can start maybe attacking some of these grants together, like stop going and step alone. I'm a big component of collaboration. I always preach that collaboration is key. Like we have to stop, like nonprofits, we have to stop like acting like we're in competition with one another. Like we have to join, we have to have like that Black Wall Street mentality when it comes to nonprofits and education in schools, everything. Like we have to work together. We have to be better together.
I love that. And those of you, we're not going to do a lesson on Black Wall Street here.
Yeah, I need you to do that.
Ian has several links, ChatGPT and Gemini will tell you, but we're not going to go into that because you should be ashamed of yourself. And I said it.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. So thank you for doing that, because it was controversial, but you also offered several ways the rest of us can navigate, especially about going in this collective. I've seen that happen more and more with micro schools. A school that's nonprofit and a micro school that is for profit coming together because that's better lines to both missions. Then, and some of them are close, and some of them are like, I want the East Coast, we're on the West Coast, but we can do this together. Those of you who are the foundations and the corporations giving out grants, thank you.
Right.
They help communities, all communities thrive. Please don't stop.
Don't stop. Don't get scared. Don't get discouraged.
There it is. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's what we need. All right, so we do the controversial part, and then we go to the fun part.
Okay. Thank you.
Back in the day, I love 90s music, 80s music, because that's, I want to buy a shirt that I saw the other day. It was like, back in my day. The students would say that. And
my daughters say that.
And they tell us, when in the 1900s, get out of my face.
Right.
Be quiet. Because they're not lying, but it's also a dig.
It is a dig. It is definitely a dig.
So, that's all you can get with this, so you can get with. So that's what this is. It's a quick round, fire, rapid. Now, I'm going to say this to you. Normally, teachers or educators with an education background, we can't do this. We always come from both, and we want to explain it.
I know I was going to ask you that. So I cannot say both at all?
You can't.
Okay.
I had to change the rules because they were breaking them. So I was like, let me just change the rules. You can say both. You can say in certain situations.
Okay.
If you feel led to explain it, that's fine too.
Okay, there we go. I love it.
But it's never rapid.
I love it. Innovation. This is innovation. So you're innovating. I love it.
Okay, with it. But I do love doing this. Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath, everybody. Traditional classrooms or hybrid learning hub.
I gotta go hybrid learning hubs. I think that is, I don't want to say new, but I mean, I think that is just the new way to do things, like that open concept, letting kids just, I mean, it should almost feel like they're going to work at like Google or something every day that they come into a classroom. You know what I mean? Like that's where like ideas are really going to be free flowing, innovation's going to be free flowing. So I'm totally for hubs.
And even when you said that, I thought about when you were like, I jump on a Zoom with a student and like help them navigate through. Because they really, that's how they do it at Google. They're like, hey, there's no point.
Yeah, no, and it's so fun too, man. Like when you get to just chat it up with like a 9 or 10-year-old about like their ideas, and they can see that like you're really like authentic and that you're really listening. You know what I mean? Like light bulbs just like start to pop up. So
I mean, with a little pen and like go into the little booth.
Yeah.
Kidvation in the booth. Go ahead. Standardized test or portfolio.
Portfolios. I think standardized testing, while at a time back in the day, we were just talking about the 1900s and joking around and stuff. Like at a time it was needed. I don't think standardized testing is needed at all anymore whatsoever. There are some people that are just good test takers, and there are some that are not, but that shouldn't determine their value. It shouldn't determine their future. I was a 4 point plus GPA student, but I really wasn't that great of a test taker. I didn't do that great on the ACT, but that did not stop me from excelling in college and everything else. So yeah, I think standardized testing is a thing of the past. I much rather have a portfolio. I mean, that's what life is. Like, even when you work on a job, like, and you get a raise, like they look at the value of your work over time, like your portfolio over time. So I think school should be the exact same.
I love that because I did tell a young lady the other day, it's like, girl, nobody asked you about your ACT or SAT.
They did not. No, they did not.
Like, for real. I said, you just college, university, and you can't. It's okay if it's low, but your grades are great. Carry on.
Good pushing. Carry on.
And she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much," because she was like stressed, and I was like, "And don't get like a 0."
You're right.
But what I'm saying is, it's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world.
And she was great. She got into the schools she wanted to get into. She was just breathe.
Yeah. Yep.
Textbooks or TikTok tutorials.
Okay, we were just talking about TikTok. Okay, so even though I don't do TikTok, I would lean towards TikTok tutorials. If anything, I would probably change it to YouTube tutorials. Ooh. So I'm more of a YouTube University kind of guy. So I would lean towards YouTube. If you do textbooks, I would just say, at least allow people to do like audiobooks and things like that. Like, like let's update these textbooks. I mean, reading is still fundamental, so you do need some aspect of reading. But I mean, kids these days, they're much, they're visual learners, they're auditory, so if they have the opportunity to learn from a video or a reel or something like that, it can be just as valuable.
I love that. Okay, so I might have to change it to YouTube. And we do say you can do TikTok tutorials and they don't have to go on TikTok.
Okay. There you go. I got you.
Okay, STEM or STEAM?
Oh, okay. I would probably lean towards STEAM, or really, I would probably change it towards STREAM because there's STEM, there's STEAM, and there's STREAM. So science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So I would probably say STREAM. Give me all the letters.
My other guest, she said STEAM with the extra A because she added athletics.
Okay. Yeah, some people change it up. So we work with an organization here that does like anthropology. So the A for them stands for anthropology. And then like for us, sometimes the E stands for entrepreneurship because we do a lot of stuff with entrepreneurship. So yeah.
So we can make it do what we want to do.
We can do what we want to do.
Whatever we want to do. Okay. Behavior charts or restorative circles?
Oh my goodness. Restorative circles. Like, let's do away with the charts, with the smiley faces, sad face, star, no star. Like, no, we got to do away with the charts.
You're going to get your clip move. Keep talking.
Man, like how hurtful is that to like, you don't know what kind of day that kid was having, and like, for them to see like a star come off their chart, like that could, like that kind of stuff needs to.
It depends on the kid, because I'm the boy.
So you still gonna do chart?
But it depends on the kid. Like, no, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, my mom taught first grade. I told somebody, I said, you know how to do open house or like, I don't know, the 9-week check-in. Back in the day, you had to come get the report cards in school. Right. My desk was sitting beside the teacher desk. You had to do.
Right beside the teacher desk? Oh, Lord.
And so, and then I would be finished my work, so I would get up and go help. I'm not disturbing the kids. I'm like, okay, so you don't know how to add. So look, you got repeat. Like,
look what talking got you. You got your own podcast now. You be speaking at conferences. Like, see where talking got you?
But my mom came in, who is a first grade teacher, so she knows. And the teacher was like, well, yeah, I had to put Benita right here. She said, that's the best place for her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now, did she teach at the same school that you were at?
No, she taught in a different county. We lived in one county, and then she drove on purpose. Sister went to school with her in the beginning of a couple of years, and then by the time I came along, she was like, no, y'all stay.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough to be at the same school as your mom.
Yeah. No, don't do it.
Yeah. I'll just say this, though. If you're going to do behavior charts still, I would make them more private. Like, I don't think they need to be up in front of everybody, so people can, what I mean? Because kids can be mean and cruel and, I would make it more private. So, I'd be like, oh, hey, Benita, here, come look at your chart. This is where we're at right now. And this is what we need to work. You know what I mean?
I got to be like, Look at that. Look at those songs. I am magnificent. Because that's the type of child I was. I always, in Restorative Circle, I'm with you. I love me a good Restorative Circle. I felt it was very, I don't know, like, I always feel like I could get with the ancestors. This type of child. Like, I'm getting with the ancestors. We gonna go in this circle and they're gonna give me.
Let's talk it out. Let's talk it up.
Okay. Mentorship or coaching?
It's a good one. I gotta go with mentorship because to me, true mentorship is gonna involve coaching, and like mentorship goes beyond just, strictly coaching. Like this is like, how are you doing as a person, like outside of work, outside of, just this relationship. Like they were just wanting to make sure like you're good, like in life. And so I think that a good mentor is going to be good at coaching as well, but a coach is not always a good mentor. And mentorship doesn't always happen in coaching. Like sometimes it's just strictly coaching. Like I'm just going to coach you up, but I could really care less like how you doing outside of, this interaction. Like you just need to get this coaching. But mentorship to me is more relational.
I love that. Okay. Global projects or local impact projects?
Okay. I got to go both on this one. I can't choose one because, while it's easy to probably say global projects because, you're doing things on this global scale and like we're reaching so many people. Like to me, I mean, local impact is very important, like, because you never know what's going on in a certain community that you're in, and like impacting just that sector of people could like change the entire trajectory of that city. So, we all got, low income, hard hit areas in every place that we live in. And so like, impacting just that sector of people could really change that entire city versus, going somewhere into a totally different country, which I mean, they need help just the same. But yeah, I'm a proponent of both local impact and global.
I love it. And project based is both. I think when we start.
Yeah, for sure.
Even I know my students are like, we need pollution. And we had a conversation about, I told them, I said, this weekend I got married. I'm in the parking lot, and this lady took a whole McDonald's bag and just threw it on the ground and drove off. I was like, and that started
local.
But then they went to I saw this thing on TikTok where it's like all of our trash, is countries and landfills, and then it went global. So I love that, like you're right, impacting here can take us over there.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, we have 3 more. Now these are a little bit more personal about you.
Okay.
Are you morning person or a night owl?
Night owl. I am a night owl. Now when I say not a morning person, that doesn't mean that like I'm not capable of getting up in the morning and functioning and like that. But I think I just do my best work at night. That's actually that's typically normally when I like kind of get my work done is at night. Like when everybody sleep, wife sleep, kids sleep, and so kind of already hung out with them during the day, and then I just focus like on my work. So me and another one of my colleagues, Brent, the one that you mentioned, we're kind of the same. Like we could literally be like sending each other emails at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, like responding back and forth because we just both kind of work late at night. Yes, I'm definitely not.
Yes, and then you answered it because some people are like, I'm morning, and I'm like, you're not a morning person. 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you just said it. You said
but
you're not running. So yeah, you own it.
Shut that down. Why are you talking to me?
You go to bed when the street light come on?
Yes, well, I was still here. 8:30. The other night it was 8:30.
Now you're one of the people that like will fall asleep like in the middle of watching a TV show or something, or like in the middle of text, like just fall asleep. Okay.
Just done. Like, I'm gonna call you back. Sleep. And I know, like if you're my room friend.
Yeah.
It was like that in college. Like my roommate and I. Shout out to my roommate. I love you, girl.
You didn't stay up? What about the parties and all that stuff?
No, I'm not doing the weekday. Friday, Saturday, maybe some Sundays. Yeah. But like my roommate and I, we lived in that suite and you had the living room and the thing. Right. Get out our room. Y'all go sit out. Shutting this down. This room getting shut down.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, 8:30. If people say, how'd you date? They would. Meet me in the study it. I work. Come up here. All right, the last 2, audiobooks or podcasts?
That's a good one. Because I'm doing an audiobook right now. I would say both. I would probably lean more towards podcasts though. But yeah, definitely both. But yeah, I mean, I can always do a good podcast.
All right. And the last one, and I need to change it, but I'm not. I'm not going to change it to next season. Sweats and sneakers or blazers and loafers. And yes, the loafers with the penny in it.
With the penny in it? Okay. All right. You got to have a penny in it. It depends on the situation. It depends on the venue, the event. I mean, I definitely do both. I guess on a more probably day-to-day basis, I probably have to go sweats and sneakers though. Yeah, I mean, keep it comfortable, keep it simple, especially if I don't have to be like seen too much. Yeah, just throw on a nice pair of sweats with some tennis shoes. But no, I like to throw on a nice blazer, every now and again too. So
okay. So we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. I always give time and opportunity and space because this is something that I love. If you attended the HBCU or you're a member of the Divine Nine, I'm not explaining these things to y'all. If y'all watching this podcast, I'm talking about. I give you space and opportunity to acknowledge them, how they impact your life. I'm gonna give you time to do that now.
Well, you already shouted me out earlier in the intro. You said we was I was frat. So definitely shout out to the Alphas, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Spring 2002. Actually, my birthday is coming up in 5 days. Let's see, we crossed in 02, 23. We'll be 23 years. I know. Telling my age, you see the gray. Fraternity definitely impacted my life. Just community service, leadership, all those great things. I actually did start out at HBCU my first year of school when I thought I wanted to be a doctor. Started out at Xavier University, but quickly came back home when that's not what I wanted to do. So, I had to tell my parents like, hey, this is what I think I want to do. And so, came back home, but still shout out to Xavier because had a good first year there. Met a lot of people that I'm still cool with and still friends with. So shout out to both of those.
Okay, so we love our bros. 196 for those of you who didn't know. Ice cold.
That's right.
He's being so modest, y'all.
I am. I'm trying to be modest.
What is a call to action that you would send out to parents or educators or the community about how we can reimagine education?
Man, that's a good one. I would just say continue to be innovative if you are already doing innovative education. If you're not, you definitely need to get on board. What do they say? Like adapt or die or adapt or perish. I mean, so like I said, we are in an innovation revolution, creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. Those are the 21st century skills that this next generation are going to truly need to function in this world. STEM, AI, entrepreneurship, like all those things. So just find ways to be innovative in your educational approach. It doesn't always have to come in the form of, starting your own school or something like that. But if it does get to that point to where you're like, hey, this isn't working for me and I need to do something on my own, like do that, like step out on faith and like start your own school models and incorporate things that you want to incorporate that truly matter. And then if you are in like in a traditional education setting, like just find ways, like I said, to be innovative, find ways to incorporate project-based learning, find ways to tweak the curriculum, to not make it so just lackadaisical and boring, like get the kids excited about learning. Like learning is supposed to be a journey. It's supposed to be fun. Like, so just make sure you're doing those things.
Thank you. I love it. And if you don't know how to be a maverick, hit me up. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That's what I would. Stuff I do now in the innovative space and creating our own school. It's the stuff I used to trouble with and be like, oh, my bad.
Right.
I didn't know you didn't want the kids to learn. And now it's like, okay, can you come do a person? And I'm like, yeah, but you used to fuss me out. Right. But like I tell people all the time, if the students are learning and their numbers are good, they'll look the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they started doing. They started just looking the other way. And I was like, I'm not following that curriculum. I'm not reading that novel. Nobody wants to. We want to do a lesson. We want to do project-based. We want hands-on. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so I love how you said that. And you're right. If it's not working, stop doing it.
Like nothing else in life works that way. You know what I mean? So like, why should school like work that way?
Well, you done hurt some feelings.
I wasn't trying to. He told me to give some parting words, call to action.
What did the youngsters say? I'm going to hold your hand while I tell you. I was like, girl, get off of me. Here it is. Okay. So now this is how we do our outro. Our final word. You get to tell us how we can connect with you. And you get to give us our last word. It could be a poem, a rap, a song. Okay. But before we do that, this is how we do the outro. I am from Little Shallow Baptist Church on Otterdam Road in Jerry, Virginia. I love y'all. Nobody say nothing bad about Reverend Dr. Jacob Turner Jr., who is now in glory. But that was my pastor, and I loved him. He would give us cough drops like they was candy.
Amen.
So you are our guest pastor. We have opened up the doors of the church. And now we just need you to give us some type of encouragement for the rest of the week, because that's what that means. Like, how can I carry on in a wholesome way?
There you go. Hold on, did I get my check? Did I get my check? Did I get my love offering yet?
Yes, that's as you walk out. My mom, who is a church secretary, she has that for you.
First, I got to make sure that check is.
Let's be real. We normally give it to your first lady, so if she's with you, she already has that in her purse.
There you go. Okay. So I think you said the first part was connecting.
Yes.
So as far as the organization, kidvationglobal.com. That's our website, and it's Kidvation, Kidvation. So basically, think kids and innovation mashed together. That's exactly what it is. And then I really didn't talk about this, but we also have our own student e-commerce website. So this is all student products, programs, and projects that are on this website. So like students are actually selling their products and making real money from it. And so that's at kidvationmarket.com. Yeah, so when we talk about owning your education, like we literally mean it. We're teaching kids how to literally own their education. So kidvationmarket.com, check that out. There's like 60 plus products on there. Order something. The kids get 100% of the proceeds. We actually even cover their shipping, so it's seamless. So yeah, so we got kids on there making real money. We mailed a check to some girls in Virginia not too long ago for like $500. 9-year-old girls that created their own t-shirt line. So yeah, they made like $500 in t-shirt sales. So yeah, kidvationmarket.com, check that out. Kidvation Global on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, Benita. So Kidvation Global, check us out. And then if you just want to reach out to me, Harold Lee Jr. on LinkedIn and Facebook, so check me out. And then you said some parting words from the pastor. Let me see.
Come on, Pastor.
So I love this quote from John Wesley. He's like credited with starting the Methodist movement. But I use this all the time. Do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. So I would just end with that. Just do good to everybody. Love God, love people. Yeah, just give back, because that's what it's really all about. It's just being a good person, being a good human, and teaching youth to do the same. At the end of the day, their careers, at the end of the day, none of that matters. Like, are you a good person? Are you a good human being? So that's what it's all about.
Especially
now, if there was ever a time.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family, TEC family, I hope you had your drink. I hope you had your notebook. I hope you had your pen, but if not, you can subscribe. You can share it. And you can listen and watch again. Brother Harold. The first time we met, we were joking and laughing. I was like, you just my cousin. Thank you for coming on the show. Please, in love and respect to your wife and the kids.
I will.
Taking some time away from them today to come on here. And to your co-founders. We appreciate what you're doing in the community and in education. You came in like a mighty rushing wind, exactly when we needed it. You have been instrumental in the micro school movement and in the homeschool hybrid movement. And I know in the after school programming, I see that all the time. And so we appreciate that. You came just with, look, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And you guys are getting it done. And that's important to us because that's how you disrupt, dismantle, and reimagine education. Look, this is how it is. That was great. Tell us who your quote came from. Who again?
John Wesley.
Okay, so y'all need to Google that and see some people. We're going to tattoo it. We're not. Just read it. Put it up in your house. Y'all. We do it too much. Okay, we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you, Benita.